ahead. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Live with Roger Hanson. I'm here with Karma Love.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Karma. How you doing? Tonight we are on the topic of ancient history, and specifically, it's with the Phoenician history. We've gone through this before when we were doing our live streams on Minds. So if anybody wants to check that out, I've got them coming out in the uploads for Rumble, and everybody on Minds is pretty much caught up. Tonight, I'm going to continue where we left off, but first I made a promise to you, Karma, that I'd go back and do the timeline for a lot of things that we've been discussing.
Okay, yeah.
So I went and did that. One thing I noticed too is a lot of the stuff that we thought we needed to do a timeline on wasn't really in the part of the book that we were covering.
It was just our own research.
Yeah, from our own research is what I'm guessing, and we started talking about Tawadi.
Yeah, we kind of went off on a tangent. Not a tangent because they're all connected, but yeah, we did kind of go for a little loop just to see how they could be intertwined with what we were studying.
Now, he is mentioned in the book, Tawadis is, but we're not there yet, you know what I mean? But we are on some cool stuff. I actually went back through the timeline and I found out some interesting things too that we did cover. But here, let me try to find trying to figure out where everything is. On the timeline, when we were talking about what was her name, Semiramis.
Yeah,
that is a lot more interesting than what I thought. So I can
Semiramis was who we were talking about last week. I gotta pull my notes up. You gotta give me, I don't have my notes pulled up in front of me. I literally walked in the door and then hit join.
Well, right now, all I'm gonna do is do the timeline and tell you where everything was during the time period. So I'll give you time to do that.
Okay.
But in the story, the oldest thing that they mentioned so far is Byblos. Now, Byblos was founded between 8800 to 7000 BC. The second oldest is Nineveh, and Nineveh was founded in 6000 BC. Now,
hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it said Nineveh was founded in
6000 BC, and that is kind of mythical because they also say it was Ninus. And Ninus was actually from 2000 BC, and according to the documents, it says Nineveh goes all the way back to 6000 BC. So,
how long does it take you to upload the videos for the Minds table for the round table?
It doesn't take long to upload, but then it has to process, so it'll take about 15-20 minutes.
I've been uploading the same video for 3 days. Excuse me, I was gonna say hours. For 3 days. Well, so let me say, maybe more like deliberately 2 days. All night, all day, afternoon, yesterday, and it's some of the most like important content I've ever been able to distribute. And every single time, Rumble says that I cannot upload it to Rumble, which somebody hacked into my Rumble account yesterday. I was able to upload one video. And then today, YouTube, and YouTube always gives me trouble because of the people that own it and have the shares inside of it. That's why I was using Rumble as an alternative. And I've literally been attempting to upload the same video for now 2 days. And I know for a fact the Minds Roundtable is a good almost 10 hours sometimes
Yeah,
sometimes, not all the time, but like 6, 7, 8 hours. It's a 3 hour video, and it's still not even done. 20%.
that's
I was just wondering. Yeah,
that's crazy.
it's purposeful. But go ahead. And people,
Okay,
because people will say, "Why aren't you putting your content out?" This is why. This is what I go through to put my content out.
yeah. Well, like I said, if you want me to go over some stuff and help you out, I can do it. You know, it's not not that big of a problem for me. Maybe make it easier for you on some stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Thank you. I apologize to interrupt. I just
It's
was looking
fine.
at
It's
it
fine.
not being done yet, and just
So, Tyree, the what's his name? Philo of no, it was Philos of Tyre, or I believe it was.
mm-hmm.
Now Tyre was founded in 2750 BC, and then I already told you about Ninus. Now he was supposed to have reigned in Assyria for during the 2000 BC, and Ras Samra or of Ugarit, that was between 1400 and 1200 BC. Jubabal or Hiramabal, which was Judah, I believe. We were talking about the one that I said wasn't really related because it was conjecture about him being Sennacherib's mentor.
Yeah,
Now
Judah
that
was. I don't have him. I didn't take notes on him though.
Jerubbaal, that was between 1100 BC, or that was in 1100 BC. And then when it comes to sun pillars in Assyria or Phoenician areas, especially the Phoenicians, that those sun pillars actually were up there between 1050 and 1031 BC. So that's the time period they're talking about that with the sun pillars. And Abelbal or Abibal, that was 1000 to 981 BC.
Abba.
Abelbal or Abibal. Now, Semiramis, the older one, goes all the way back to Ninus, which is in the mythical one goes back to Ninus, which is 2000 BC. But the actual Semiramis that existed, who was married to Shamshi-Adad V, that one we were talking about.
That's in the wind spirit, and go ahead.
She was from 824 to 811 BC, and so, during Shamshi-Adad's rule, which was 824 to 811, but then she ruled 5 years after, until her son could take the throne. We had a conversation too about Berytus. It was a city that was there on the coast, and I found out the date for that. When it was founded, it was 110 to 109 BC. Now, Philo and Porphyry, Philo was the oldest of them, and he went also by Hieronymus Philon, and he lived between 64 to 141 AD. Then Porphyry, he lived from 234 to 305 AD. And then Eusebius of Caesarea, the guy that wrote the book we're going over, he lived between 260 to 341 AD. Now, the deities that we've been discussing, the two that we actually are at right now from what we've read, is Nodos and Ba'u. And they don't have any dates associated to them, like when the first tablet was discovered of them or any. None that I could find so far. And when it comes to Ba'au, Baau, the only place I could find him was in that field mythology encyclopedia that me and you looked at.
Yeah.
That was the only place. They didn't have it in Wikipedia or anything else. But I was able to find Notus, which the spelling also goes off of notice, as in Notus, as well as Notos. So I've got the links for that. I'm gonna put them in the chat for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I just looked it up, but Notus is a Greek in Greek mythology and religion. Notus is the god of the south wind. Yeah, I just see that. Dio, Greek mythology.
You keep reading if you want.
It says in Greek mythology and religion, Notus is the god of the south wind and one of the anemoic wind gods, son of the dawn goddess Eos and the star god Astrius. Necessitating hot wind of heat. Notus was associated with the storm of late summer and early autumn wetness, mist, and was seen as a rain bringer. Unlike his two more notable brothers, Boreas, the god of the north wind, and Zephyrus, the god of the west wind, Notus has little to no unique mythology of his own. His Roman equivalent, and we were looking that up, his Roman equivalent is the god Austere. And then it says, the Greek noun, it looks like Volt, but I'm not even going to make the attempt, it's like VOTO, some weird letter, refers both to the south cardinal direction and the south wind that blows from it. Its ultimate etymology remains unknown, although a pre-Greek origin seems to be the most likely origin.
Okay, and it says
and then
the pre-Greek substrate consists of unknown pre-Indo-European languages spoken in prehistoric Greece before the advent of the Proto-Greek language in the Greek peninsula during the Bronze Age. It is possible that Greek acquired approximately 10,000 words from such a language. I'll leave it at that. Go ahead. That was something that I picked up on before.
That you added? No, I was looking because I don't see that. But are you reading? So you have Wikipedia.
You see where it has the blue lit up words?
Yeah.
If you run your mouse over that, it'll kind of give a little bit of an explanation.
Pre-Greek origin. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
And
okay.
I ran into that earlier, and that kind of stuck out to me because that takes it back to Proto-Greek, which is Indo-European languages. And a lot of people believe that that's where the Greek language actually came from. It came from Indo-European. So.
Oh, that's why it's saying pre-Greek origin. Okay. Notice, like most of the wind gods, the Anemoi was said to be the son of Eos, the goddess of the dawn, by her husband Astrius, a minor god related to the stars. Thus, he is brother to the 5 star gods, Astra Planeta, and the justice goddess Astrea, and half-brother to the mortals Memnon and Amathion, sons of his mother Eos by the Trojan prince Tithonius. Notice has no known consorts, lovers, or offspring. The ancient Greeks distinguished the 3 types of wind blowing from the south. The first was Notus, the one Notus mostly represents, which blew from various directions in winter and was seen as the rain bringer that obscured visibility. The second was Loconolia, white Notus, which was milder and cleared up the sky, and the third was the hot bringer of dust, identified with Sirocco. Notice is one of the three wind gods mentioned by Hesiod, alongside his brother Boreas and Zephyrus. The three wind gods seen as beneficial by the ancient Greeks. Unlike his two more prominent brothers, however, Notice has very little mythology and mostly appears in conjunction with his brothers, who with too few unique appearances to differentiate him from the rest. In his preparation for the great deluge, Zeus locked up Boreas and the other cloud blowing gales, and let Notice free to rain upon the earth, who let it pour all over the globe, drowning almost everyone. I wonder if that's the Great Flood they talk about being
Yeah.
Noah's Ark. But yeah, it is, isn't it?
Hmm.
In the Odyssey, the winds seem to dwell on the island of Aeolia, as Zeus has made Aeolus keeper of the wind. Aeolus receives Odysseus and his crew and keeps them as guests for a month. As they part, Aeolus gives Odysseus a bag containing all the wind, except for Zephyrus. Although warned not to open the bag, Odysseus's crewmates, however, foolishly opened the bag, thinking it contained some treasure, and set free Notice along with all the other winds as well, who then blow the ship back to Aeolia. In the
Yeah.
Dinos, is that it? Stop right there.
You can go if you want to. I was,
Okay,
I was
go ahead.
just that right there is what sticks out to me with these stories. I mean, like I never really caught on to any of that when it comes to the Odyssey. You know, that's actually a pretty good explanation right there.
And see, it's crazy to me because the way it directly correlates with basically like Noah's Ark. Like, and
Yeah.
you can hear, yeah, like it's the same story, which lets you know that there's truth in, excuse me, the stories that we hear, but it's a matter of correlating them properly in order for you to understand what the truth is. And
Now,
so,
if you want to go, you can. I mean, I know it's getting pretty rough on your reading there.
no, I got it.
All right.
And in the Dion Siekia, meanwhile, he and his brothers live with their father Astrius. Notice serves water from a jug when Demeter pays a visit. In the Iliad, Notice dined together with his brothers in a faraway land as Iris visited to summon Boreas and Zephyrus. Much later, he and Urius stranded Odysseus on Phrynicia, the island of the sun god Helios, for an entire month. In the Pergamon, yo, in the Pergamon altar, which depicts the battle of the gods against the giants, Notice and the other three wind gods are shown as horse-shaped deities who pull Hera's chariot. Their equine form is also found in Quintus Semiraneus' work, where they pull Zeus instead. I just think that's funny because Hera's a girl, and then like now they got him pulling the guy. They always, they always discredit the women. No, it was the guy. It was the guy. And they do it a lot. In one of his few defining appearances, Excuse me. Notice features in two of the dialogues of the sea gods, a, a satirical work by Lucian and Samosata. Satirical work by Lucian and Samosata. In the first, he and Zephyrus discuss the woes of the Argive prince, Lo, at the hands of Zeus and Hera, while in the second, Zephyrus enthusiastically describes the marvelous scene of the abduction of Europa, was it supposed to be Europe, by the bull, while Notice admits in disappointment having seen nothing of note.
All right. So that's
So
a huge.
you should share that on stream. the family tree so they can see what we're talking about because they have the genealogy,
Yeah.
genealogy of it. Yeah, and then you see notice here and how it relates. I'm just yeah, look, and then look, there's Rhea Cronus. That's funny. That girl Rhea, or that name Rhea, that was the person who was always giving me hell over here on mine. She's gone now, but her name is one of these people. Oh man, that puts a lot of stuff more in perspective now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should put that on there on the screen so people can see.
Yeah. I can put that on there. I also posted it up on the chat too, so let me pop that up there. Yeah, that's a pretty good setup. Okay. I know what it is. I need to place my tabs a little bit better. Okay, there we go. We got it. And then I'll scroll down to the timeline. Alright. And let everybody see that. I don't know if it can get it. Yeah, it's got it in there pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, we can zoom in. Mr. Robot's joining your chat.
Oh, is he? There he goes.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. You see
Time
this
to take a peek
timeline?
at what you're doing.
We're taking a look at notice in the Phoenician history, and I had Karma read a little bit on notice. Now we're showing the notice family tree, and
It goes up, guys. I was just looking at. You see how this line goes from Sirius, then it goes down, and it goes around, and then we come down here to Themis.
yeah. See, like yesterday we were discussing Uranus, okay, and that is
We were not discussing Uranus yesterday, guys. Last week we might.
last week we were discussing Uranus.
Minus or Uranus?
I mean, says it. I attempt to keep my composure, but the immaturity in me just let it go. Okay, I'm back to reality though. We're in history. It's just so funny every time I say it. But yeah, so look,
Okay,
Uranus is at the top.
as you were, don't let me interrupt. I'll just listen in for now.
Oh, I always interrupt. He has to put me on back on track. We're on history today. Okay. I apologize for that.
So
Don't scold us. Put us in the corner. But so
No,
Uranus is at the top.
it shows this on Eos or Eos
Yes.
in ancient Greek mythology and religion. Eos is the goddess and personification of dawn, who rose each morning from her home at the edge of the river Oceanus to deliver light and disperse the night. In Greek tradition and poetry, she is characterized as a goddess with a great sexual appetite, maybe. I don't know.
Where's Atheist? Not Atheist. His name is like Aero. No, but
No,
he's not on here. He's
Now,
go ahead.
Now, Notice's father is in Greek mythology, and Astraeus or Astraios is an astrological deity. Some also associate him with the winds, as he is the father of the four Anemoi by his wife Eos, and the Anemoi are the brothers that you just described right here. Notice and his
But look where they have Cronus at. See, this doesn't make sense because Cronus and Eos are supposed to be together, and Cronus is nowhere near. What is this? Let me look at my notes. Because this is when we were talking about it last week.
No, you got to remember
Cronus.
this is most likely Greek. Okay.
Okay, so it's
So,
different.
So they
That might
really
be what it is. I might be crossing it.
they don't really distinguish with it. Like this actually is most likely focusing around the Greek, because ancient Greek and
See, yeah. Here it is. Aether, according to Hesiod, is he the son of Erebus and Nyx and Night? Okay, in Orphic cosmogony, Aether was the offspring of Cronus and the brother of Chaos and Erebius. And see, there's no Erebius here. This isn't Greek. Greek in Greek mythology, Aether. Now, where is he at on here? There's no Aether here. I don't see him. See, that's what I was saying.
he's probably there, but in like a really, really crazy Greek spelling.
Cut out prayer.
Now see, Kronos.
And even Nyx isn't here. Where's Nyx at?
Kronos is the son of Uranus.
And it doesn't say that. It doesn't show that Cronus is the son of Uranus. It doesn't even have. It has Cronus going back. Can you move that thing? The box. Oh wait, hold on. I have it right here. You don't have to. Oh, there, you did it already. You did it. See, it has Cronus at the top, and it takes Cronus to Crius, Crius. So he's the son of Uranus, but look at. Oh, I see this line.
The header
going down.
The headline is focused towards Notice's family tree. See what I mean? So, of course,
but I mean,
he probably isn't even related to Notice in any way. See what I mean? He comes. Notice comes from the family of Uranus.
And see, I don't see how that could possibly be, because really if Crasius, it doesn't make sense.
If Uranus is Cronus's father, then
right, then that would make. But and see, the way they have it here is Crius is where Cronus comes from, and Cronus comes from Crius, and Notice is basically his great grandson, but they show no connection to see Crius and Eurybia. See that Eurybia girl, she's here, and Erebus is the son of, according to Hesiod, he was the son of Erebus, Darkness, and Nyx, and the brother of Hemera. Where's Hemera at? Hemera. I don't see her on here either. Well, shut up. Eurybia, I have you somewhere in my notes. Where are you at, Eurybia? I don't see you now. But it just does not make sense. You'll see Orphic, parents of Cronus, Chaos, and Erebus.
Aias is a direct descendant from both Uranus and Gaia. Goes right straight down. Bam, 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 bam. And straight over here. Selene,
and then that's like he's born into the family, like married into the family. Oh no, that's the real family. Austria's sister married in. Hi, pretty kitty.
It's pretty interesting.
Austria's more interesting that it seems to be missing a whole chunk of connection. Because I'm just.
You also got to realize this is Wikipedia too. Like
every time. Yeah, we'll charge it to the game type thing, right? No, Uranus is okay. CCC Themis. What? I just saw you. I just read about you. How come I don't see you in here now? Themis, Tyrus, Pontius. I don't see any of these people anymore.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Now,
Gaia. Here's Gaia.
Yeah,
in Hesiod's Theogony, Chaos was the first being, after which came Gaia. So Gaia, okay, so Gaia came after. Okay, go ahead.
No, right here. Let me get us to freaking the next one, because this is where it starts getting interesting. It's Ba'au, and this is Phoenician. So if you want to read it, you can, but it's up to you.
Okay, so this is the one that you just sent me, right?
Let me.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Phoenician, yeah, the second.
Okay. So.
Now, Let me see if I can find the. It just brought you to the freaking page. It didn't even bring you to the actual name. Let me type that into the
I
search.
can. Oh, I was about to say I can, if you would like. I'm starting at Eusebius of Caesarea.
That's a big book.
You want me to read it or no?
You can read it if you want to.
You start from the beginning where it says. No, I don't mind. I just was wondering if it's
Okay.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay, so Eusebius of Caesarea or Eusebius Pamphile was bishop of Caesarea in Palestine. He is considered the father of church history and was a Christian scholar and presbyter in the church of Caesarea. His major work was his history of the church, a massive piece of research that preserves quotations from many older writers that would otherwise have been lost, specifically for researchers of Phoenician history. In the extracts from his book, Praeparito Evangelica, Preparations of the Gospel, from a translation by E.H. Gifford in 1903, a considerable gist of Phoenician theology is made available. In fact, Phoenician history contained in this book is the oldest non-coded document of the Western world's historical archives. Furthermore, it is particularly valuable because its author, Sanatrinathian, was a free man who did not hesitate to denounce myths. Phoenician history is a fundamental document of human culture, and the surviving fragments of it were almost lost had it not been for Eusebius. Before the reader examines the extracts mentioned herewith, four important icons of knowledge need to be made known to the average reader of history who may not be familiar with them. They are Sanatrinathian of Bertius, Tadius of Bibulus, Philo of Biblius. Oh, see what? So it's Tadius of Biblios and
Yeah.
Philo of Biblius. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Paphari of Tyre, Sanatrinathian of Berytus, Beryt, or Sakun Yathan in Phoenician means the god Sankun has given. He was an ancient Phoenician sage, priest, and writer. He lived before the Trojan times. Judging from the fragments of the Phoenician history, Sanatrinathian appears to have been a contemporary of Semiramis, the queen of Assyria, the wife of Ninus, with whom she founded Nineveh 2000 BC. However, go ahead.
No, we covered. That's what we were covering there with her. Like, that's the mythical one. But the actual one was the one that was actually married to. What was his name? I've got it here. She was.
Shashmar or Shashamesha?
Yeah, I've got it on here.
Okay.
She was at Santa. She was actually married to Shamshi-Adad V, and that was 824 to 811 BC. She's the one who ruled over Assyria for 5 years. So
we talked about her last week.
Yeah. We mentioned her a little while ago too when we were going through the timeline and everything. So
yeah,
I wanted to mention that, and you can continue now if you want to.
Okay. However, some believe that Sanatrinathian was a contemporary of Gideon, 1339 BC, without any proof. His book goes back into fabled antiquity. Sanatrinathian, like the Gaspa, I know the G sound, so is Vasta or is it Bagasa in India? Bagasa in India. Is said to have been a compiler of extremely ancient theogonic and historical documents that had been transmitted to him, either by oral tradition or in writing. Sanathanathan derived the sacred lore from the mystic. I feel like you read this already.
Yeah, we have. You're just. I'm letting you read
We'll
it. if you
reiterate. Okay. Sanathanathan derived the sacred lore from the mystic inscriptions on the Northjotis.
Yeah.
Northjotis, probably Hamanian sun pillars, which stood in Phoenician temples. Porphyry of Tyre says that Sanathanathan wrote a history of the Jews based on information derived from Jerubas, a priest of the god Jehovah,
That would be Yahweh.
i.e. Yahweh. He dedicated it to the Abibal and Abibal, Abelabal and Abibal, king of Bertus. The story was that, the story was thought to be fictional because of its reference to Bertus. However, excavations in Bertus in recent years prove that the city may be older than Byblos, that has culture traditions in 8000 BC. His Phoenician history may be regarded as one of the most authentic memorials of the events which took place before the flood. It begins with the legendary cosmogony and relates to how the first two mortals were begotten by the wind spirit and his wife Baal. That's how we looked up her and found out about Baal, Baal, and we did that day. Darkness. It refers to the fall, the production of fire, the invention of huts and clothing, the origin of the arts of agriculture, hunting, fishing, and navigation, and the beginning of human civilization. Sanathanathan gives a curious account of the descendants in the line of Cain. His history of the descendants of the line of Seth reads like the record in Genesis. That's interesting. And then we're still talking about that flood that the wind was, that Notice says that Notice was responsible for commanding over.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
Let's keep going. Follow Publius.
Now, we're on page 4, and it's right where it says, according to Philo, the names of Mount Lebanon. Once you get there, you would pretty much reviewed the first 3 pages. So I think you should be on page 2 by now. Is that page 2?
I don't know how to tell what page it is,
Here,
but it starts with Philo of Biblius of Heronius. Philon of Byblos was a Phoenician scholar and Roman citizen born in Byblos. That's where, but how do I know? It says
Okay,
book
hold up.
1.
I can find out real quick.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I've got them all done by pages. So, I believe you're on page 2. Just have to find you. Judging from the fragments of the Phoenician history, Sennacherib appears to be a contemporary. Yeah, okay, so traditions to 8000 BC. That's the part you just finished, right?
Yes, but no, hold on. 2000 BC. Let me see. Where did I see something about 8000? No. Well, oh, yeah. And his culture, tradition, 8th. Yeah, okay. Yeah, his Phoenician history, yeah.
So,
I just finished that, and now it starts with Philo of Biblius.
Yeah, so you are on page 3, and it says, Philos of Byblos. You're almost, you're less than a page. Like, just read.
I'll finish it real quick.
Phoenician Canaanite religion. And, yeah, you're right there.
Okay. Philo of Biblius, or Heronius Philon of Byblos, was a Phoenician scholar and Roman citizen born in Byblos and representative of the Roman consul Herennius Severus. Works of grammatical, lexical, encyclopedic, and historical importance. He wrote in Greek about scientific authors and famous people and their work, especially Emperor Hadrian. His most important work in the translation of Phoenician history by Senator Nathan. Excuse me. His most important work is the translation of Phoenician history by Senator Nathan. This work was thought to be made up, but since 1929, archaeological evidence from Ras Shamara, Ugarit, we read about them last week, Ugarit, clay tablets texted dates to 1400 to 1200 BC proved him true. He had a considerable reputation for honesty in his work, which archaeology confirmed. His Greek translation represents a valuable source for our knowledge of the Phoenician Canaanite religion. According to Philo, the names of Mount Lebanon, the mountain range of the Anti-Lebanon, and other Syrian mountains were derived from the name of giants who once dwelt there. In ancient history, most high mountains were thought of as the abode of gods. In the case of Mount Lebanon, it would have been Baal Lebanon, sometimes identified as Baal Hadid. Avi Yonah in 1982 to, and then I guess it says 1542, so that's the reference, and they're referencing 1542.
See, I've got Porphyro Malchus of Tyre, 223 to 309 AD. And that part that you just read, I don't even have it on here.
Yeah, I have the Porphyry Malchus of Tyre, 223 to 309. I have that, and that comes right after what I just read. Yeah. And so Tawadas of Biblis or Toph, see, yeah, that's what I was just making. Yes. I remember that's how we got on it, because you read that. Tawadas of Biblis or Toph came from Biblis Phoenicia. Like, I remember when you were saying that.
That's probably where we ended up going off onto our conversation about Tawadas from right there. Instead of going on to Porphyry Malchus of Tyre. So, if you want, I can read a little bit, give you a break.
Okay.
Thank you for catching us up.
No problem.
That was pretty rough. I could hear it in your voice.
Sometimes it gets a little difficult with the names.
Yeah. So Porphyry Malchus of Tyre, 223 to 309 AD, was born in Tyre, or Tyre, which I always call Tyre for some reason.
Is it not Tyre? It's Tyra?
I've heard other people say Tyre, so.
Oh, that makes sense though, Tyra. Yeah, I can hear it.
And was born in Tyre and studied in Athens before joining the Neoplatonic group of Plotinus in Rome, where he studied philosophy. Porphyry was a man of great learning and was interested in and had great talent for historical and philological logical criticism. He had a passion to uproot false teachings in order to ennoble people and turn them to the good. He declared the salvation of the soul as the ultimate purpose of philosophy. His works included Against the Christians, a work of 15 volumes directed not against Christ or his teachings, but against the Christians of his own day and their sacred books. He argued they were the work of ignorant people and deceivers. He attacked the Christians' doctrines on both philosophical and exegetical grounds. As to be expected, his books were banned in 448 and ordered destroyed by the Christians. Copious extracts of them remain in the writing of St. Augustine and others. Other books, such as Aids to the Study of the Intelligibles, is a basic summary of Neoplatonism. He wrote against Moses and attacked Eusebius of Caesarea. He lived in austere celibate life. So that was Porphyri. That's one of the guys that you wanted to talk about. And he actually did write some good stuff. So
Have you read
his,
any of his work?
your fingers on the mic.
I said, have you read any of his works?
Oh yeah, I have. It was a while back, but I read it. He was an interesting guy because he was. I was telling you about the ecliptical motions of the Earth and like the Great Year. He was studying the Great Year before anybody even knew that the Earth was round. You know what I mean? It's pretty interesting. His story is, and Neoplatonists were like that. They were really, really highly intelligent for their time. You know, so it is pretty interesting stuff. But that is, if you want to check out Plotinus, we could talk about Plotinus. He was an interesting guy, since that's where we're at in the story. I can pull it up and send you a
You think
link.
that's more interesting than the goddess that we were going to speak of, Nineveh?
Oh, you want to talk more on it? That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Now Nineveh is a good topic. So you want to go back over the Semiramis, and then that's a good idea. We could do that.
It's just it's up to you, whichever is more comfortable. I mean, like, I'm just learning, so I'm intrigued regardless. I just keep muting because I'm moving bags and stuff, and last time you could hear it. So I'm listening to you, but I'm doing other stuff because I was supposed to do something already that I didn't.
I can actually kind of go over some of the stuff that I found out when I was doing this timeline. I've got the link I'm going to post here on the side.
Oh, I just got it. Okay.
That's for Samara or whatever. And then
the names are wicked.
Another thing, man, that is pretty interesting too, which is really cool, is Nineveh. Just Nineveh, the actual root word for it. And this is what really stuck out to me. Now, I'll go ahead and I'll read the thing for Nineveh, and if you want to, you can reread the Semiramis, okay?
Okay.
But Nineveh, also known in early modern times as Kuyunjik, was an ancient Assyrian city in Upper Mesopotamia, located in the modern-day city of Mosul in northern Iraq. It is located on the eastern bank of the Tigris River and was the capital and largest city of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, as well as the largest city in the world for several decades. Today, it is a common name for half of Mosul that lies on the eastern bank of the Tigris in the country's Nineveh governorate takes its name from it. It was the largest city of the world for approximately 50 years into the year 612 BC, when, after a bitter period of civil war in Assyria, it was sacked by a coalition of its former subject people, including the Babylonians, the Medes, the Persians, the Scythians, and the Cimmerians. Now, this is actually when the Medes and the Persians finally joined up with Egypt and the Scythians and the Babylonians and finally took Assyria down. That was the end of them. But they make it out like it was like a uprising and a revolution and stuff.
I was just about to say, like, it was a massive thing, but they kind of teamed up and did that. Okay.
Yeah. Assyria never had control of the Persians or the Medes. So So now the Babylonians,
the
Yeah.
overturn. Yeah.
and the Scythians, they never controlled the Scythians. Okay, now the city was never again a political or administrative culture, but by late antiquity it was the seat of a Christian bishop. It declined relative to Mosul during the Middle Ages and was mostly abandoned by the 13th century AD. Its ruins lie across the river from the historical city center of Mosul. The two main tells, or mountain ruins, within the walls of Tel Qayanjik and Tel Nabi Yunus, the site of a shrine to Jonah, the prophet who preached to Nineveh. Large amounts of Assyrian sculpture and other artifacts have been excavated there and are now located in museums around the world. Now, the part that got me was this name here. This is what really stuck out to me after what we read about of Semiramis. Okay, pay attention to this part because it really is important. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the English place name Nineveh comes from Latin Nineve and Septuagint Greek Ninue, under influence of the biblical Hebrew Ninue, from the Akkadians Ninua, or Nina, or Old Babylonian Ninua. The original meaning of the name is unclear, but may have referred to a patron goddess. The cuneiform from Nina is a fish within a house. Aramaic Nuna, fish. This may have simply intended her Hurrian origin. The city was later said to be devoted to the goddess Ishtar of Nineveh, and Nina was one of the Sumerian and Assyrian names for that goddess. And additionally, the word in Old Babylonian refers to Athene, genus of fish, further indicating the possibility of an association between the name Nineveh and fish. The city was also known as Ninua in Mari, Nineveh in Aramaic, Nineveh in Syriac, and Nineveh in Persian. Nabi Yunus is the Arabic for prophet Jonah. Qayanjig was, according to a laird, a Turkish name, laird the Arabs, and is thought to have some connection with the Karakoyunlu dynasty. These toponyms refer to the areas of the north and south of the Kausar stream, respectively. Qayanjik is the name for the whole northern sector enclosed by the city walls and is dominated by the large 35 ha mound of Tel Qayanjung, while Nabu, or more commonly Nebi Yunus, is the southern sector around the mosque of Prophet Yunus Jonah, which is located on Tel Nebi Yunus. So they're talking about those mounds. But the thing that stuck out to me was the fact that the actual name for Nineveh relates to a fish, and then it also relates to the mermaid. And if you remember, we were doing our research and going
Yes,
back.
last week, and we were talking about the mermaid goddess, and we had
Yeah.
pictures of her.
You know, and the one thing that we were discussing too, which I wish we could have gotten more of, was Bea'au. That was something that really stuck out to me.
Beatu?
Yeah,
Beatu?
Bea'au.
Beatu.
That's the thing that I was having issues with on trying to find Bea'au.
Is it Beau?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look. Hold on.
You'd think that it would take you to that particular part of the book instead of starting you out at the beginning.
Well, not really, because when you send a link, it's not knowing where you're at in the book. So, I mean, not yeah. Ooh. Okay, keyboard no longer works. There we go. But excuse me. What etymology, Polynesian, prototype.
Now she's associated with darkness too, by the way.
So let me see if I can. No, I'm a fan of Dark Portraits. Ba'u, that's their Instagram. I'm pretty sure that's not the same person. Doubleman Fandom, Bazing. Let me see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Or it could be the representation of
Phoenician
God.
history in the oldest darkness by A'u. It begins with the legendary. So, I see what you're saying. And as soon as you click on it, it takes you to the whole book. So the only place that they have her related, the Wind Spirit and his wife Ba'au. So it's showing the same thing. Okay, from the Wind, Colepia, and Ba'au, his wife, were produced Aeon, okay.
That's where we came up with Aeon. Yep.
Beyond Heroes with see, they even associate when I look up Ba'au with Bao, Phoenician Beyond Heroes with Bao, and some references known as Akim or Akim, the Greek name for an astrotrop.
Do you have the link for that?
Yeah, I'm looking it up on the iPad. I'm on the phone. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just send it.
All right.
Through my channels. Okay. It's like a list of all the Phoenician deities.
It's pretty interesting. Now I can read Semiramis if you want. So.
Okay, go ahead and do that while I do this, and I'll have the link so you'll have pictures to go with what.
Okay. Now Semiramis was the legendary Lydian Babylonian wife of Onus and of Ninus, who succeeded the ladder of the throne of Assyria. According to Mopses Koronatsi, legends narrated by Diodorus Siculus, who drew primarily from the works of Ctesias and Cnidus, describe her and her relationship to Onus and King Ninus. Armenians and the Assyrians of Iraq, northern Syria, southeast Turkey, and northwest Iran still use Sumerium as a given name, for girls. The real and historic Shemaramat, the original Akkadian form of the name, was the Assyrian wife of Shamshi Adad V, who ruled between 824 BC to 811 BC. She ruled the Neo-Assyrian Empire as its regent for 5 years before her son Adad Nirari III came of age and took the reins of power. She ruled at a time of political uncertainty, which may partly explain why Assyrians may have accepted the rule of a woman when it was not allowed by their cultural tradition. She conquered much of the Middle East and the Levant and stabilized and strengthened the empire after a destructive civil war. It has been speculated that being a woman who ruled successfully may have made the Assyrians regard her with particular reverence, and that her achievements may have been retold over the generations until she was gradually turned into a legendary figure. The name of...
That's what you were...
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was just saying, that's what you were talking about. Them making, like, deitizing of the people. It's the same thing even with the women. I was just like, I found it interesting.
Yeah, Sanchariatheon brought that up, and I agree with him. You can see it in a lot of the writings where they've deified mortals and made them into god-like beings because of the deeds they did.
She just sounds like one of those.
She sounds like Xena, the warrior princess.
Yeah, my mom used to love Xena. That's the only reason I know about Xena and Warrior Princess. Her and Wonder Woman all come from my mom. And then I watched movies with Wonder Woman, and I'm like obsessed. Like, give me a lasso. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's so cool. But yeah.
Now, the name of Semiramis came to be applied by various monuments in Western Asia and Anatolia, whose origins have been forgotten or unknown. Even the Behistun inscription on Darius Herodotus ascribes to her the artificial banks that confined the Euphrates. He knew her name because it was inscribed on the gate of Babylon. Various places of Mesopotamia, Media, Persia, the Levant, Anatolia, the Arabian Peninsula, and the Caucasus received names recalling Semiramis. Now, that was what we went over with her, and it was more of her legendary part that we were talking about before with her. Like, it was almost like mythological, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I just have a question, because mythological just reference to not necessarily being true, but isn't there mythology in more than just Greek history? Just for me, for self-reference. That's correct, right?
Yeah, a lot of the Greek mythology goes farther back into older mythologies.
Like Egyptian mythology. Like, that's what I know, and that's why I was just wondering, because I wonder how mythical or mythological it really is. I just wonder, you know what I mean, if it's really that, or just kind of like they did, because they said the third eye is a myth now. So I wonder if we're told, these things are myths to kind of disassociate any type of truth they may hold. That's why I was just making sure.
But see, like you can dig through and figure stuff out. Like, I told you how stupid Diodorus was, right? Like, remember him? He's the guy who said you don't listen to anything he says because it's pretty much a lie.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, hold on, wait a minute, who's the guy that I remember? Okay, Diodorus.
the thing is you can listen to some of it, you can pick up on things, because like well, here in the legend according to Diodorus Siculus, okay, it says, according to Diodorus, a 1st century BC Greek historian, Semiramis was of noble parents, the daughter of the fish goddess, which we were talking about. Now, he's mentioning a fish goddess, which is Derketo or Ascalon. Now that's
it's not even the same one.
of Ascalon. Sorry, of Ascalon. Now, Ascalon was an ancient Near East port city on the Mediterranean coast of the southern Levant. And it played. It says it played several major roles in history. Now, Dekerto is a goddess, was the chief goddess of the northern Syria in classic antiquity. Primarily, she was a fertility goddess, but as the Baalat mistress of her city and people, she was also responsible for their protection and well-being. Her chief sanctuary was in Hierapolis, which is modern Manbij, northeast of Aleppo. Now, Aleppo, I believe, is near Nineveh too. So
I was about to say, do you see it on the map, or is it not pictured anymore? Like Nineveh still is, but Aleppo, is that still
Aleppo? Here, let me pull this bad boy up here. That way, at least we've got a picture. I didn't realize that was all down, but I can see if we can find a cool map. Actually, I just click on the pictures and scroll through them.
Yeah, that served us good when we did the catacombs. Oh, that's a decent picture. That's cool.
Yeah.
Haha, look. And see, the other one, it was sideways. There were no feet, and it was just the bottom fin.
Mm-hmm. And then right there.
Mm-hmm. Then we have this one here. Mm-hmm.
And we got that. Now, the fish pond of fish sacred to Agartha survives at Sanlurfa, the ancient Edessa. Its mythology transferred to Ibrahim. Bust of a priest of Atargatis, 3rd century AD. That's pretty late. Capitoline Museums. So she apparently had a pool in the ADs as well. So
nice. Before and after. That's nice.
Yeah. So she was around, and there was a town, goddess of Aleppo in Syria. Now I can pull up Aleppo on a Google's map, and we can get that taken care of, because I know Aleppo is still around. Aleppo, Syria.
Ballad, but as the ballad mistress. See, so she basically, ballad mistress means that she was the mistress of Baal, B-A-L, which is crazy because B-A-A-U was woman.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have Aleppo here. I can scroll out of that a little bit farther, and we can find out how far away Aleppo would have been to Nineveh.
Oh wow, right there, all in the same area though, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Aleppo.
Now, Nineveh. Nineveh. And that is Al Sephirah, Al Bab. I believe Nineveh. Yeah, there we go. Govern it. Right there, Mosul. Aleppo's here. Mosul's here.
I see here on the right side. And Mosul is where what would have been Nineveh. So
Yeah.
Aleppo is still around, but Nineveh technically is not.
And I mean, that would be in the right area to where freaking you could see both of them connected, and you know, when it comes to people's beliefs and stuff. So it wouldn't be that far-fetched that people believed in these deities. And I mean, I've never heard of it before, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there could be a good chance that eventually Ishtar was believed to have been like a seductive mermaid, you know?
Wait, really?
Yeah. I mean,
Ishtar? The
Yeah.
fertility goddess? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could get it, but that makes sense, though, I guess, if you're thinking about it. Because, am I wrong? Fish represent fertility. They
Yeah.
say when people dream about fish, it means that someone's about to have a baby.
well, if you remember what I just read to you about Nineveh, Nineveh was erected in honor of Nina, or Inanna, which is the original name for Ishtar.
No, now I see. Now I see. No, now I do. I wasn't correlating it at first, but we spoke about her or read about her first.
hmm I found that pretty interesting, you know. I don't know if that's true or not, but it just seems with what I went over and in what we've read, you know. Because I was going through the timeline and everything, and I just fell across it. I went and started with Senechinathian, and I should have actually got the timeline on him too. I never even freaking pulled that up, but from Byblos all the way down to Eusebius, in what order were they around in time period. And I know we covered Notice in Ba'au, which I guess is Atagatus. Did I share that?
Mm-mm.
Here, let me pull that up for you. And there it is.
Thank you.
That's some pretty cool stuff.
I told these people I already donated to hide that deal for a week. But she's coming back. They're like, we don't have your card on file. Yeah, Manji. Brown stove fish. Oh no, wait, you might have, because I remember us talking about the dove. Called her the greatest mistress of the northern Syrian land.
Does it mention the dove in there? I know we were talking about it. Wait, that
Yeah,
goes-
the dove and the fish as her symbol, it says.
yeah. So we did talk about it last week.
Yeah, we did. I remember when I saw the dove, and then that Ugarit. That's what sticks out to me the most. Us reading about Ugarit, and that OK, which is the Aramic variant of the name of the Semitic goddess in that mythology. Athenaeus was just on that other thing that we just did. I thought it was on their timeline as well.
Yep.
They're settled.
I'm posting links onto the chat too. That way we can go back to them and
The fish pair was commemorated as the constellations Pisces of the zodiac, and local Syrians abstain from eating fish on account of really wow. The name Diana referred to Aphrodite's mother. Okay, but it was also an epithet of Aphrodite and Venus herself. I didn't know Aphrodite doubled as Venus. That's news.
Yeah. And Aphrodite was also the story I told you about whenever Kronos freaking cut off his daddy's,
Yeah. And they had to go. That's what I remember from her. And she went to the ocean. Like, she went everywhere looking for the parts, but that part particularly was in the ocean. She threw all her.
And let's see here. I'm getting all of it. I'm gonna have it on the chat for later.
For future references already.
That way we got all this stuff, because as soon as we're done, I mean, this stuff is gone if I turn it off and go away, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why when I say I have it in my notes, it's like a bunch of open tabs that I should be able to organize a group together, but they're usually kept together. I always have my conspiracy stuff together and my strangeness stuff if I look up something for strangeness, and then I have the stuff that we learned from here.
No, I personally believe that we're freaking coming up on some good stuff here. I mean, be honest with you, this is really
definitely very interesting.
This is turning into some really good material.
Especially when you start thinking about the correlation. I think that's kind of what intrigues me the most, because it's like completely different cultures, but they're not really that different. Kind of proves the connection of like us being joined, even with like the massive piece of land being all connected at first, and then adopting the cultures of those around it. So I don't know.
And see, the thing that sticks out to me too is like, Nineveh. Okay, Nineveh, Nodos, and Ba'au, with Semiramis, I've never heard of Semiramis until now. And Nodos I've heard about the four winds, the directional winds, but I never got too caught up into it. And then Ba'au, that's interesting too, because that brings you into Atargatis, I guess is how they say it, but she's pretty interesting too. These are her and her connection with Nineveh is what I'm wondering, because Nineveh is it was erected in honor of Inanna, which later became Ishtar.
Yeah, I definitely think we should go ahead and look into them, dive into them a little bit more for the next coming shows, if we don't have something already planned, because it just seems like interesting points that we're making in regards to the correlation, and then maybe see if we can find something about Ishtar. And you already said that doubles as Anna, but more or less just seeing if we can find a direct correlation even as Ashtar.
Well, see, Ishtar, the name change too won't cause them to where they felt they needed to change the name from Inanna to Ishtar. I've never even thought about looking into that. Like, there had to have been a reason in between, but
especially if it's the same person in the same culture, right? Because we understand changing the names when they're crossing cultures, but within the same culture there has to be, like you said, a specific reason.
Yeah. Now I know Babylon, they started worshiping Marduk, and they kind of started looking down on the older deity because they were nameless gods. You know what I mean? They had, like, Enlil was the Lord of the Sky. You know what I mean? And Enki was Lord of the Earth. But it was like a generic name. basically. So the Babylonians started calling them nameless gods, and they fell in the pantheon, you know. So eventually, all of the older gods were put down into the underworld to guard over the underworld, and then Marduk was raised to be, you know, the big guy. And then An and Anu, that was basically just the name for heaven. But Anu was
I
supposed
knew it was the name for heaven
Yeah.
because, like, I used to the Nineveh. That's what we got. Because, like, we keep saying Nineveh, but like my best friend, her daughter's middle name is Neve because it's heaven spelled backwards. I think that's interesting that Nineveh is a place, and like I said, Neve is heaven spelled backwards. All it is, like, yeah,
No.
everything's connected.
just An is heaven.
Mm.
Aeon. Or A.
Yeah, no, but
An.
An is
Yeah. Which, a root word. You know, I can see what you're saying there if you use it as a root word.
Nineveh.
But like Nina, you know, Nina would be freaking, I guess, the another word for Inanna, according to this, because of the root words.
Anna, yeah.
Nina, Anna, all that.
Yeah, Santa Maria. No, that's not. That's Columbia. Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria. That's his boat, right?
Weren't those the 3 ships that sailed to America?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a different part of
Right.
history.
Right, whole different. That's a little bit more recent than what we're talking about here. Mhm.
So we have gotten to an hour and 21 minutes. What do you guys say so far? You want to say something?
No, I mean, we did good. Like I said, I'd like to look up the women history a little bit in the coming future if we can, just to see how it relates. And other than that, no, we did good.
I think it'd be good to get into Ishtar and Inanna too, and start looking into some of that. There were a couple of other ones that I do want to find out too, like about the darkness, the goddess of darkness, and then,
Which is crazy because Baal is the god of the underworld, and with that other guy, Mot, we learned about him the same. Like all
Yeah.
of it was, yeah.
and then like El himself, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of people that like to make claims that freaking the Canaanite gods are linked to Mesopotamia. I'd like to take a look at that and see if it's true or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I mean, so far I haven't seen very much that would even say that that's true. To be honest with you, I mean, they're all pagan. You know what I mean? So of course they're going to have similarities, but I've never seen anything that directly says, yeah, look, this is directly connected to the Sumerians. I've never found that. So I'd like to look into that more too. I never thought I'd be saying that I'd want to look into Canaanite
History
ever.
Mhm.
But
That's funny.
you know, if you want to say goodbye, you say goodbye, and I'll say goodbye, and we'll end this episode.
Alrighty then. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is Tech Talk. Wait, no, tomorrow's not Tech Talk. Tomorrow is, or is it Tech Talk? Tomorrow's
Let me
Wednesday.
see real quick.
I
Tomorrow
thought Thursday was
is
Tech Talk.
conspiracy, man.
Oh, my favorite. I'm losing
You
my
got-
mind.
He's about to leave. And you
Yeah, I was out of it thinking because I remember like, no, that doesn't make sense. We don't have basketball tomorrow, but yeah. So definitely, I will see. What are we? We don't know yet. You'll tell me later.
I'll have to go over that. I wanna check out some of the stuff that we went over and see where we want to go with that, because it actually kind of broke off in a new direction, and I'd like to be able to look at it and see what'd be a good way of starting it out. That was actually a good episode. So,
Okay, that sounds good then.
so let me look at it and kind of see where I want to go. I had to do that with Tech Talk too, kind of break everything down and figure out what direction I wanted to go, because it opened up some good avenues.
Awesome. Well, I'll be here and I will be attentive and on time because I don't have to leave the house tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Be safe.
See you later. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have, it's going to be about conspiracy, so if you guys want to come, you're more than welcome to show up and say hi. And thanks for watching.